Alrighty. As I'm going over this video, I expect you guys to put your phones up, no headphones, no nothing out. As soon as we get done, as soon as you get done watching this video, you will be able to work individually, and you'll be able to work on some of these problems. And I don't mind you having your phone up listening to music then, but for right now, make sure everything is up. Now, before we left, I talked about finding the slope, okay, and using the formula y2 minus y1 over x2 minus x1, okay? That's the formula. So let's practice one more time, because this is what you're going to be doing. So let's say if we have 2 points. Let's say if we have a point of, 8 and -2, and a point of 6 and a +4. And I want you to find the slope of these 2 points. Okay, you're going to use that formula. Now, the y2 and the x2, all that means is this is the first x that I see. So I'm going to write down x1 right there. Okay, this is the first y that I see. Okay, so I'm going to write down a y1. For my 6, that's my second x that I see. So I'm going to put down a x2. And for my 4, this is my second y that I see. If you do it this way, I promise is the easiest way, guys. I promise. So you've done all the hard work, really. So just plug it in this formula. My y2 is my 4, so that goes right there. My y1 is my -2. Put that in parentheses. My x2 is a 6. And my x1 is an 8. Now up here, 2 negatives right here become positive. 6 minus an 8 gives me a -2. Now, can we simplify this number? Yeah. 6 divided by -2 gives me a -3. And you're done. Okay? Now, I've been over that a couple times, so I feel like you guys know how to do that. Okay, just finding the slope. Okay, now we're going to do something a little bit different. Okay, we're still going to be using slope, and we're still going to be using that formula, but now we're going to have a missing point. Okay? We're going to have a missing point of x. We don't know what that is. We're going to find x. Okay? So we have, but here's the difference. We have the slope. Typically m, when you see m, that refers to slope. Okay? So we have the slope. Now, how are we going to figure out that missing point? Well, we're still going to use this formula. Okay? So if you need to go through and label, this is my first x. This is my first y. This is my second x that I see. And this is the second y that I see. Okay. So now, we're going to plug it in our formula. For y2, what do I have? I have a 7. For y1, what do I have? I have an x. For x2, what do I have? I have a 6. And for x1, what do I have? I have a -2. Now, do I know the slope? Yeah. I know what all this stuff equals. I know it equals 1 over 2. Okay? Now, from here, we're going to solve what we can solve. What I mean by that is, what can I solve here? Well, I can solve this. 2 negatives become positive. And this becomes actually 8. 6 plus 2 gives me actually 8. Okay? So what do I have left? I'm going to come over to the side. Kind of run out of room over there. Okay, so I moved all this over here to the side over here. Okay, that's all I did. And the only thing I simplified was this 6 plus 2, and it gives me 8. So 7 minus x is over here, the 8 is over here, and the 1 over 2 is right over here. Okay, so I moved over here to the side. So now, I think the easiest way to solve this, if 7 minus x is being divided by 8, how do I get that 8 to this other side? How do I get this x by itself? If 7 minus x is being divided by 8, well, let's multiply both sides times 8. That's what we're going to do. We're going to multiply both sides times 8. Now on this left side, that cancels that. Okay. So all we have left on this left side is 7 minus x. Now for this 1/2 times 8, what does that give me? What's 8 times 1/2? What's half of 8? It gives me 4. Okay. Now, let's get x by itself. If I'm minus 7x, because that's a positive 7, how do I get it x by itself? I'm minus 7 from both sides. Okay. Now all I have left is a negative x and a minus 3. How do I get rid of a negative x? Well, I divide both sides by a negative 1. Now, what do I have left? I have x is equal to a negative 3 divided by a negative 1. Gives me a positive 3. That's my answer. So now I know that missing point is equal to 3. Okay? Okay, so now we have another one. Remember, we don't know what that x is. Okay, that's what we're going to be finding. So we're still going to use this same formula, and we're going to figure it out. Okay, so that's my first x that I see. That's my first y that I see. That's my second x that I see. That's my second y that I see. Okay? So go ahead and put these numbers in your formula. All right? My y2 is actually equal to x. My y1 is what? Well, it's going to be 2. My x2 is actually a negative 8. And my x1 is a negative 7. And all of this is equal to negative 5. Okay? Now, let's go ahead and simplify this as much as we can. I can simplify this bottom part first. 2 negatives right here become positive. So that's really a negative 8 plus 7. Okay, so x minus 2, that stays the same. And negative 8 plus 7 gives me a negative 1. Is equal to a negative 5. Okay? Now, we're gonna cross multiply here. What I mean by that is, let's make this a negative 5. Let's put it under 1. Okay, so that now we can cross multiply these values. Okay, so make this number negative 5, put a 1 underneath it, and we're going to cross multiply here. Okay, so really, this is going to become 1 times an x minus 2 is going to be equal to negative 5 times a negative 1. Okay. All I did was cross multiply x minus 2 times 1. X minus 2 times 1. Negative 5 times a negative 1. Negative 5 times a negative 1. Okay. So now from here, we're going to simplify. Negative 5 times 1 gives me a positive 5. And if you distribute this 1, all you're going to get is x minus 2. Okay, the last thing you need to do is what? Add 2 to both sides. And x is going to be equal to a 7. That's your answer. Okay, so this is what I want you guys to do. Right now, I want you guys are going to be receiving a worksheet dealing with slope and figuring out those missing points. Okay, you're going to be doing all of it. So it says page 19 at the bottom of the worksheet, and then also on the back of it is page 20. You're going to be doing all of these. This is great practice. Okay, all of these. You're going to be doing all of these. All those are great practice. If you look at page 20, look at numbers 1, 2, and 3. If you need to pause the video, you can, so that they can all look at numbers 1, 2, and 3 on page 20. They're asking you to find the slope. Okay, what's the easy way to look at those graphs in 1, 2, and 3? Well, look at rise over run. You could figure out doing that, or it gives you the 2 points, so you could figure out that also. All right? So page 19 and page 20, you're going to be doing all. The following day, you're going to get the answers to this. If you need to look at some of the answers while you're working on it, just to make sure you're doing it correctly, I'm okay with that. But I will be taking a grade on this. You guys are more than welcome to work in partners, as long as you guys are staying quiet. Hope you guys have a good day.